Welcome to Boss Moves and Benefits, the podcast where we make employee benefits as thrilling as snagging the last Costco rotisserie chicken. I'm Brooke Frame, your host and Director of Enterprise Growth at Custom Benefit Consultants, a 27-year-old privately held firm that's revolutionizing the benefits world. Today, we're kicking off episode 1. Joining me are the brains and bronze of CBC, founder Robin Ball, President Ken Ball, and our Compliance and Financial Reporting Director, Jigel Panillo. Get ready because we're making insurance fun. Let's dive in. All right, team, let's talk about it. So we're going to be talking about CBC's unique approach. Robin, I'm going to kick it over to you first. What do you think makes us different and makes us stand apart as CBC? And what are we doing that's a little bit disruptive comparative to the marketplace?
I think the biggest idea is that we're different. We're a unique brokerage boutique shop. And so we have to think differently in order to compete against the large broker houses. We started that way with 3 of us wanting to go after large enterprise self-funded accounts. We have very creative ways. Our very first account was the Venetian. We're here located in our headquarters in Las Vegas. And they only had 10 employees and we're going to have 5,000 in 6 months. We took them self-funded day one when the other letter houses couldn't. And so we knew we had something then that we had to be transparent, we had to be aggressive, we had to work hard and think outside the box. And you'll learn in this podcast all those ideas coming together at one time.
Mm-hmm. We like to smoke the competitors, right?
Smoke them
with transparency. Ken, as a president, how do you make disruptive moves that are practical for our clients?
Well, we were at lunch with a CEO last week, and he asked me, what does it take to be successful in our business? And at first, the conversation kind of went towards, okay, network analysis, PBM analysis, et cetera. And then I kind of took a step back and as I was thinking about it, I thought, those are strategies. Really, what makes us successful is that we know our business inside and out, top to bottom, side to side, soup to nuts, however you want to describe it. We've been working in this business so long that we've seen just about every curveball they can throw at us. And then ultimately it's leveraging that and outworking our competition. And finally, there's a dirty little secret in our business, and that is the fact that there's a lot of hands in the cookie jar, but you're not going to find ours.
I like that. Yeah, I noticed that a lot as we're looking at all of our clients and trying to figure out, breaking it down, right? And breaking their benefits apart, right? And trying to figure out where exactly are we going. Speaking of data and bending trends, Jigel, we talk a lot about numbers. You get on the phone with the TPAs when we're implementing clients and you hate all their reports. So what makes us different? What are we looking for? Yeah. What makes us different? What are we doing to pop and get all of those numbers for our clients?
Honestly, I think first and foremost is how much we care about our clients.
Yeah.
Outside from that, then it's our reporting capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Staying on top of market trends, understanding what's coming, and making sure that we're ready to implement those things and discuss them with our clients as they come up. So definitely, I think it's just staying abreast of what's going on in the market and offering those options to our clients.
Absolutely. Robin, what do we do to bring finance and HR together in our business?
I think that's one of the very difficult things that we have to do because there's 2 primary drivers, right? And so to bring those goals and objectives and meet and take budget and then look at different types of benchmarking and where they want to be in the market, how much that's going to cost, and then curate the plan, right? So to bring the 2 of them together, we usually start with the mission, vision, values, and goals and objectives of where both departments want to go, and create a blueprint, for that path for them to get there. There's often competing interests, and that's saying it mildly between HR and
it's hard to offer the good benefits and keep finance happy at the same time.
Exactly. So usually Ken and I are in charge of making finance happy, and our entire team is there to support HR and make them happy.
We definitely have a client-first mindset, right? And wrapped in with our transparency and innovation. Want to talk a little bit about, I dropped a little information in the beginning about the Costco rotisserie chicken. Ken, how did we get involved with the Kings of Value?
It's really a matter of timing. At that time we were a bit smaller and we were looking to scale, right? So we were focused on small groups in particular at that time. And so how do you scale when we're really just, knocking on doors at that point, right? So Robin actually cold called Costco, and what we learned was that they had a need as well, as they had a program in place, but it was very manual, like literally mailing applications out to employer groups that were interested in the plans and programs that they had. So what we proposed and ultimately delivered was what one of the very first electronic experiences for quoting, enrollment, billing, submission, qualifying life event administration that existed at all. Kind of more available now, but still not as much relative to what we do. So I think ultimately we were able to help them deliver on what is their essential premise, which is creating value for their members.
Yeah. It's kind of was our first step into the technology space, wasn't it?
It was we were definitely the first in the space of quoting with quoting enrollment. And the other unique part about it is that we took on billing for small businesses. So that was definitely very unique. There was no consolidated billing for small group business.
We kind of think of ourselves in different warehouses, not just a consultant, but we're here for technology innovations when it comes to different elements.
Well, what we found out, clearly we knew when we started working with Costco is that our goals are aligned. We're talking about quality. We're talking about lowest net cost. We're talking about transparency. And something we all talk about all the time is a we serve attitude. And, we learned a lot from Costco because we had to be, talk, act, train, as Costco folks. And so I think our goals were in line for sure. And then if you look at it in terms of employee benefits, every single thing that we've launched the Costco warehouse has all of those pieces to it. So whether we're doing a self-funded health plan, who knew that you could go to Costco for self-funded health plans? We tell people that all the time, and they're like, I don't understand, like, what are you talking about? And Ken likes to say that everybody takes a haircut in this model. And so it's very successful. On the small group side, we do level funded benefits that have the Costco value. We're taking two groups of two, on a self-funded basis to, again, cut costs and create transparency in that market. Then we're just coming up on launching ICHRA. The ICHRA costs are about 30% lower for administration than the market. And so we're continuing to innovate. We're continuing to push toward those values and apply it to products.
Yeah. And not just enterprise products, right? It doesn't matter, like you said, it doesn't matter if you're two, it doesn't matter if you're individual, it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 plus employees. You're going to walk into our home pretty much, and we're going to be treating you the same way as if you're walking into a Costco warehouse.
You got it.
Yeah, that's one of my top favorite things. With that, we use a lot of analytical tools that we have leveraged from the Costco marketplace or our experience. Jigal, do you want to talk a little bit about that and analyze how we choose partners?
Sure. I mean, I think we mirror, and Robin has already kind of gone through that, right, is that we have adopted Costco's model. So we live and breathe it. So the same way we mirror that to our carriers and how we negotiate and how we partner with them. So it's as important to us that they also mirror those values. So working with them to make sure that they do is definitely something that we strive for with every single carrier.
Yeah.
And if I could even expand on that one in terms of leveraging data and analytics, right? So, one of the cornerstones of our self-funded arrangement in the CBC health insurance marketplace for Costco members is our transparent PBM offering. So over the course of several clients, many years, and consistently delivering a material savings, we were extremely confident that if we shared this with the reinsurance markets, that we could negotiate and create a stop loss consortium that we could also exclusively deliver on behalf of the plan and program. So, to the point of saying, how do we leverage data and analytics? So leveraging the historical data that we had on behalf of our block of business that showed that our PBM results were consistently below the market, and getting, not just a sales guy, but an actuary and an underwriter that works at a stop loss carrier to not just buy in, but understand the data and agree that the risk is less by leveraging the model that we put in place. And then likewise, helping us create a stop loss product that's going to be enable us to deliver a discount to the folks that come to us through the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought it was funny. The other day we were on a call, and it was with one of our partners, and we've worked with this representative a lot. And we got towards the end of the call, and we're like, "Man, you almost sound like us." There is a long time coming, and it was funny that the responses are very similar to ours. So once we accept you into the mold, right, we expect you to have the same values that we're pushing.
A lot.
Yeah. We're very needy. Yeah, we're very needy. We say we do a lot for our clients, and sometimes that's a little needy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So with the Costco collaboration over 20 years, we've got to have some funny stories. But before I kind of go around with those, Robin, what made you call Costco in the first place?
Ken. No, honestly, I wanted to do large self-funded clients, and we had another business partner. It was the three of us, and she was really focusing on the small group market.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, we were just discussing, we can't, it doesn't make it, it's not worth our time to do these small groups, if we have to do one by one. And we were cold calling then, and there was the technology, and internet wasn't the way that it is today with social. So, and then Ken said, well, like we could do something like a Costco. And I said, all right, let's try it. And so I did the cold call. They said yes. And then we're like, oh my God.
What now?
Like this is conceptual, you know what I mean? So we went up and pitched them. They were lovely. They had a program that needed to get fixed. And then we started there, and then they allowed us to like test out each market, and we built pre-ACA, plans by state that were 100% unique to Costco, which is really hard to do in the environment today.
Yeah. All right. Ken, do you have any interesting Costco stories that you want to share?
Sure. I mean, in terms of funny, there's not always a lot of funny in our business, but I mean, in terms of the relationship with Costco, one of the things that I enjoy in particular is that they've pushed us, right? I mean, we're working with a Fortune 500 company. And so the expectation is real. Expectation from their leadership and our day-to-day contacts in terms of how we perform and how we interact, but also the expectation of the members, right? Every single time that you're on the phone with a member or you're interacting with a member, they have the same expectation that you probably have when you walk in the warehouse, is that that pair of jeans is going to be less than I can find it down the street, right? Or that the detergent or the soda or whatever it is. So likewise, when someone calls us and they're shopping for health insurance, they expect that they're getting a value. And so we need to treat them as such and deliver on that expectation. So every single thing that we do needs to be done with member value in mind. And likewise, branding and culture, right? So we've all gone through Costco culture training. Certainly, we are not Costco, to be clear. However, when we're interacting with a member, the expectation is still the same, right? We have to be like, act like, deliver like. And so, all those things have pushed us to deliver the skills, the tools, the resources to fulfill that expectation. And then in terms of like just an anecdote, that was, maybe more particular. This is going back, I would even say 15 plus years. Out of the blue, they send us an email that says that they need us to send over our pandemic response plan, which frankly, at that time, we didn't have. So we had to invest in all the resources to develop it, create the pandemic response plan. And then that wasn't just having a written plan. That was the redundancy, the technology, the tools. It was a literal investment to make sure that we could meet the standards that they were requiring of us. And I mean, honestly, at the time, I was like, pandemic, like this is
never gonna happen.
Right?
In retrospect, yeah.
10 years later, we flipped the switch, kept the lights on, and kept things moving day one.
Didn't skip a beat.
We're, responding to Costco members during the lockdown. Never quit.
Unfortunately, you lost all of your employees to other states, though, right?
Yes, now we have employees
I'm
in
a little bit bummed that we didn't get a 2-week vacation.
Yes, yeah.
They're like, oh, we can all be remote. Right? Here we go. That's not a problem.
Now our employees are in 35 states, and so it's a little bit hard to have our mama and papa times,
Yeah, exactly.
I miss it though.
Yeah, we do have a lot. I mean, just like culturally, as a business, a lot of our employees stay for a long time, right? So, we might be Jigal, how long have you been with CBC?
20 plus years.
Yeah. sucker for punishment.
I know,
right?
right? I love benefits.
I love benefits. We do. We do love what we do. So I mean, around Costco, it's the ultimate disruption for us, right? We're able to create these innovative tools. We're able to leverage value in certain ways, whether that's from benefit administration to certain reporting and analytical tools. What for some of our smaller group employers, we're talking about level funded and self-funded expertise. How does Costco really get us to that level where we're offering services for these at a discounted rate for those type of products?
I think it's really different on, self-funded basis. Where Ken was saying that everybody kind of takes a haircut. It's 100% transparent, and every vendor, it has to be competitive in order to play. It has to have a Costco value. If that's your network access, your third-party administrator, how the PBM's performing, all of the point solutions that you have going around that self-funded plan. The premiums, as Ken was talking about, reinsurance, like every single piece has to create value. On the small group side, we're creating plans that really don't exist in the market. I mean, one, level funded plans exist, but this is on the chassis of our PBM and Costco value. So you're going to see, a significant savings, in the states that those products are available to you. And also drive, to Costco pharmacy as well. So I think that that's very unique. And on the individual side with this new ICHRA, we're super excited about that. So that's going to allow small businesses to create their own budgets with a HRA and pony that with our marketplace, which is amazing, of ACA plans and the support that we have for our employees in that market. So we're really excited. All these things create such value and give the support to employers and individuals for really important purchasing decisions.
I mean, I'd add to that. I mean, just kind of pulling it apart by market, right? Large group, small group, and now, individual. So on a large group basis, it's literally pulling apart every single
That's what I
piece,
was going to say.
right?
We kind of take at it and say, everything needs to come apart and then come back together.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I started off, talking about how, outworking the competition, right? And so these aren't off the shelf products.
No.
So if you talk about a self-funded health plan where you have to have, to Robin's point, a network, a TPA, a PBM, reinsurance, benefits administration, how can we create value in every single one of those pieces? And it could be just negotiating to get a couple points off the admin fee, right? But pulling that all together and ultimately creating a value, not only in terms of access and fees, but leveraging that with additional services that we can provide, whether that's process documentation, automation, Jagel's compliance services, et cetera. Pivoting over to small group, it's a combination of things, right? So we have a completely unique shopping experience that you're not really going to find anywhere else, where you can log on, see all the plans and programs that are available in your area. Actually, I'll take that a bit further. In Costco style, we have reviewed the plans and programs in your area and kind of culled that down. So you don't necessarily need to look at 400 quotes. You could look at the most competitive 10 quotes in your area for plans of your size and based upon your demographics, right? You can also do a budgeting experience. So play with contributions to see what's going to be the right fit relative to your budget. Taking that a step further is our Level Funded Advantage product. So this is a member exclusive Level Funded Advantage product that's only available through the CBC Health Insurance Marketplace for Costco members. Couple that with an exclusive dental and vision program from Emeritus that can only be found at the CBC Health Insurance Marketplace for Costco members. So now I think you're probably picking up on the trend, right?
Yeah.
So we have meticulously negotiated every single piece to be consistent with the value proposition that's expected to inure to the benefit of members. And so Robin just mentioned individual. We are about to relaunch an individual program intended to be coupled with ICHRA. We'll talk about that quite a bit further in an additional episode, but effectively that ICHRA is one of the fastest growing market segments for small businesses, 29% growth in 2024. Some of the essential benefits of moving towards an ICHRA program is that, one, you can have an ACA compliant plan, but it enables you to do that with a fixed budget, right? So employers are deciding how much they want to contribute, sending their employees out to the marketplace, and they can shop for the plan and program that they want to. So we have enabled that that experience, and then couple that with the value proposition of reduced admin fees, so that employers are going to be able to pay an admin fee that's exclusive with a rate that's exclusively available through our market. And we have we're launching in conjunction with that, again with our partner Emeritus, a member exclusive individual dental program that can be coupled with your off-the-shelf medical plan. So it's a lot of moving pieces, but the value is there, and that's what we're working on every single day.
So I think the question that I get a lot when I start to talk to self-funded clients, and I think I brought this question to you when I came back to CBC about 6 years ago. I'm like, why are other brokers not doing this? Why are other brokers not breaking things apart for large self-funded clients? What do you think, Jigel? What do you think it is?
I personally think it's really hard.
Yeah. We work hard for it, don't we?
It's really hard work. But again, I think it goes back to our value, right?
Yeah.
To finding that what's best for our clients.
Right.
And I think that's where we shine.
There's also not the comp in it. So
Well,
it's not
as
it's not preferred as
yeah.
the
Yeah.
AASO. Where
And
there's
I've said that before. I'm like, Robin, we're not making any money here.
Well, said differently, without casting aspersions, I'll tell you what we don't do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have additional comp built into your PBM admin
There
fee.
you go.
We
Agreed.
don't have additional comp built into your network admin fee and your TPA admin fee. We don't have a pay-for-play model where carriers and vendors have to pay us for the right to be shown on our marketplace. That would be the complete opposite of the way our marketplace works. And I'll leave it at, there are other marketplaces from other large consulting firms that don't operate in the same manner.
Yeah.
I
That's true. Robin, how do you get these carriers to come and play? What are you doing that's different, that's getting that across the board? You're negotiating, you're getting them to reduce prices, create custom products for as little as 2 employees. How do you do that?
I would go back to those common goals, right? We have to find carriers and vendors that want to play, right? This is a marketing opportunity for them, and they know that there's a cost for that marketing. Like Ken said, instead of paying to participate and having high margins, which is traditionally the model in a marketplace, they have to show Costco and demonstrate that they are going to create a value either by lowering a rate, which most of them, this is an and or. I'm not an and not an or they're going to do what I call the blender approach. You know, you might get the same blender for the same price that you get at Target, for example, but it might have all the accessories and come with a baby blender too. So we really try to look at cost first, and then we're looking at, what other things can we add to it. For us in particular, meaning CBC, we're experts at outsource administration and process automation, and that's just a piece that pulls all these vendors together. And so there's a lot of synergies that attract vendors to that too. We're doing all the billing for them. We're doing all the communications for them. We're handling all the EDI for them. So I think the whole package of having the opportunity for marketing, getting really, really skinny, the advantages that they have that once they come in our home, like you like to say, they're taken care of, and we're managing all those processes for them.
Yeah, I agree. So I feel like we've thrown a lot at everybody.
Big first episode.
Yeah, in the first episode. So I want to just kind of take a big breath and make it a little bit of fun. Since we're kind of on the Costco subject, we're going to do a quick rapid fire, 10 seconds. Favorite Costco products, everyone. Jigel, you first.
The Kirkland wine and the ladies' t-shirts from Kirkland. They are great.
What are you thinking?
Roasted chicken, no doubt. I buy one every single time. And I was, joking with my friends earlier. If someone happens to go to Costco with me, I buy them a chicken too.
Robin?
I love the duck pate. At Christmas time, it's so beautiful. We take it to all of our friends and deliver these gorgeous plates. I absolutely love the duck pate.
Yeah, my favorite are the olives stuffed with jalapenos and garlic. Even you have to try them; they're so good. If someone sees them in my fridge, they're like, oh, "Those are the ones from Costco." I'm like, "Yes." And surprisingly enough, like my 4-year-old eats them, so those have to be my favorite. Well, everyone, that was a lot to unpack. We have so much more coming to the audience, and we look forward to sharing with everyone. Any other side notes?
Come see us.
CBCINS.com. Boss Moves and Benefits. Thanks, guys.
For more information about the CBC Health Insurance Marketplace for Costco members, find us at www.costcoquote.com.